Bang! Pow, pow. Arm yourselves and duck behind a fortified wall as another InRetroSpect roar is cocked back and released from the snout of a large pistol. This is a show that is unscripted, unscheduled and released without warning. All of the InRetroSpect gang are together, and between our four minds we will spend a strict 20 minutes debating what will make our top 5 gaming weapons. Moment, we've been whittling and prattling behind the scenes to choose 10 gaming weapons from which we will pick our top 5. So between Peter Whittington, Chris Darby, Daniel Frost and myself, Sam Turner, here are 10 gaming weapons, all with a chance of taking a place in our top 5. We have the crowbar from the Half-Life series, the Cerebral Ball from Turok, the banana bomb from Worms, the Ripper from Dead Space 1 and 2, Gravity Gun from Half-Life, there's a Chainsaw Lancer from Gears of War, the Portal Gun from Portal, Alika from the Prince of Persia 2008 edition, that's the one with Nolan North in it. There's a crossbow with live ammunition from Oddworld: Stranger's Wrath, and finally making up our top 10 is the Rift Inducer from Ratchet and Clank. So there we are, our 10 weapons, now to slice them in half in a bloody battle that will last 20 minutes and 20 minutes only. So Dan, whilst I start the timer, can you tell me which of those 10 weapons should be in our InRetroSpect top 5?
Okay, well, my first nomination is actually, when we came up with this list, this was a late entry. And it's a late entry that I put in there, and I can't believe I'd forgotten it. It's the crossbow and live ammo from Oddworld: Stranger's Wrath. Mm-hmm. Not only is this a good weapon for the fact that you can use different kinds of ammo, whether it's like a sniper rifle or a shotgun or a pistol or a machine gun, but also the ammo that you can use, the live ammo, as well as them being cute and furry and animated and fun to look at, they're strategic. There is ones which will set off a sound. You fire them into an area and it will release a sound which attracts enemies that you can then attack. Each of your forms of ammo can kill or disable someone in different ways. It's just a brilliant, both for the humour that it comes with, which is just imbued with the fantastic humour of the Oddworld series, and the fact that it's so strategic. I don't remember a more strategic gun than the crossbow with live ammo from Oddworld: Stranger's Wrath. How do you guys feel about this?
I think that this top 5 will be populated by the most humorous guns and weapons, and the most bloodiest, and the ones that cause the most rancor. So I think that definitely something like the crossbow from Stranger's Wrath. Just seeing the crossbow and then having a little creature looking at you, almost petrified just before you're about to fire it, is enough. Fox. Yeah, just seeing them sweating as you're getting them ready to fire them into enemies and kill them, just to keep yourself alive. The metaphor for life. But I think it should be at least in our provisional top 5 to start with.
Well, if you're going to talk about fun as well, I want to come straight in, gentlemen, with 2 words, and that is banana bomb. From the Worms series. I mean, how many weapons out there are fun, bouncy, and high in potassium? I mean, this is like a completely brilliant, completely explosive weapon. I mean, think back to the days when you played Worms. Like, how excited were you when you found that crate and you've got a banana bomb? This brilliant weapon that just, no matter where it goes, you just point and fire. You know it's going to cause devastation, and there's that sense of like the unknown when each bounce of each banana could take it into unprecedented areas of your level map, and it just changes the level map instantaneously, and it's just phenomenal. And I definitely got to put the banana bomb in there.
Yeah, and it's one of those weapons that kind of preceded a lot of a bit more of the fun that started to come through in the Worm series, because I think you really had the banana bomb first, and then you started to have stuff like the sheep and the grannies and the flying sheep that you could use, and the banana
holy
bomb.
Hand grenade.
Yeah, the holy hand grenade. And the banana bomb was one of those weapons which kind of seemed to precede all of that, and was just kind of that feeling. I think what makes a great weapon is when you get it in your hands and you feel invincible, or you feel you can do something. So I'm definitely happy to have it in, because you get that feeling with the banana bomb.
It's a classic. It's a classic weapon. It's power. No, Dan. No, you can talk about this in a minute, and we'll ignore you. But the banana bomb is powerful. It is funny. It does loads of damage, and once you've got it, you feel like, yeah, I'm an absolute badass. And when you're hurt by it, you think, I've just been hurt by bananas. Like, it's the ultimate kick. It's the shotgun blast to the it's the pink comedy shotgun blast to the face and the teabag at the same time. It's the perfect weapon.
I'm happy to have it in there. So Dan,
I'm just gonna say, other than the fact that it's a banana,
yeah.
Is it not? And the fact that it bounces around.
Yeah.
How much different is it to a cluster bomb?
But several bananas. And
well, no, because with a cluster bomb, it goes off and then several littler bombs go off. So with this, a banana explodes and then fragments of the banana explode. The only element about it is the fact that it's a banana, which once you've thrown it, then it ceases to become anything other than an explosion. And the fact that it bounces around. And as you said there, Pete, it's fine being killed by one. Anytime I was killed by one, I was like, that was unlucky.
Yeah,
because it could have bounced anywhere.
Banana.
But it could have bounced anywhere. That's the game killing me. I'm going to say...
No, not if you're really strategic. You can use banana bombs strategically.
It's not like the Armageddon button, which just shakes the whole map and everything's blanketed here. This is something that it's just like... It's so funny because it's something that's so powerful and destructive, but it's a banana.
And I get that, but I need more from a great weapon.
But it's one of your 5 a day.
Go on, what do you reckon? What should replace a banana bomb then, Dan?
Well, I'm going to put probably the quintessential of gaming weapons, because gaming weapons come from shooters, from first-person shooters, from third-person shooters, and I think the quintessential weapon from that would be the chainsaw lancer from Gears of War, because they take a machine gun, and what's the one thing that's probably more powerful than a machine gun? A chainsaw. Screw it, let's just put them together. I think it's genius.
But then you just debunked your own criticism of the banana bomb. What they've done, they've taken a bomb and they've taken a banana and they put them both together. They've taken a chainsaw and they've taken a machine gun and they put them both together.
What they've done is they've made an amazing weapon by combining these two things. Combining a bomb and a banana, it's still a bomb. The banana thing's just a funny aspect. The fact is, it's not like you've got a gun with a chainsaw attached, but you can't use the chainsaw. You can use the chainsaw quite viscerally on enemies throughout the levels. And that's why I think it is, for me, it's the quintessential. When I think of a gaming weapon, I think of the Lancer.
I think it's too much in one gun. I like the idea I like the idea of having to swap and change between weapons and just pick and choose. And I feel like I've got this massive arsenal that I can just go with and just go into battle with. I feel much more confident rather than having to flick through my Swiss Army knife.
And personally, I would say that I've played all 3 Gears of War's game, and actually the Chainsaw Lancer is the weapon that probably statistically you use the least, because you can only pick up the ammo of the Lancer when other people from your team die or you get to an ammo point, and they are so rare and so infrequent that you end up using most of the locust weapons for the majority of the game. I know I did in 1 and 2, and actually their weapons handle better and fire better, I think, than the Chainsaw Lancer does. It's actually not that good a weapon. The chainsaw bit's fun, that's fine. But
is there anything better than running up to a boss as they're shooting at you and just pulling the chainsaw on them? Really? When it comes to games, what's better than that?
I will tell you what is better than that, and it is throwing a woman at an enemy. In Prince of Persia, the 2008 reboot, you are accompanied by Elika, who is a princess of the sand, and she is fantastic. It's a brilliant story about one man being accompanied across the desert, trying to sort of rid the land of evil. And you can stand there and talk to Elika for a little bit, and you can, you get to know her, and by the end of it, it's very, very touching. What the outcome of that. But you can also use her as a weapon, and you must use her as a weapon, and she helps you use yourself as a weapon. She is the most useful things. She's one of the most useful things that you find in the game. You know, you just kind of find her and she's wandering about, and then suddenly you can leap large sections. She can throw you at bad guys. You can do exactly the same to her, and she will punch bad guys in the face, like, because she is this sort of imbued spirit. And what you know, we're constantly being told that man is the ultimate weapon. Well, it turns out that it's not man, it's a woman, and it's Elika. And therefore, I think she is a top weapon.
I'm a little bit uncomfortable, because saying a woman's a weapon, you kind of want, or anyone's a weapon, you're kind of objectifying them as a weapon. I think, like, when we did our sidekicks on Raw, check it out, it's a good Raw episode when we talk about best sidekicks. I can understand having it there, but where do you draw the line? What's the difference between a weapon and a sidekick?
It's not up to me, Chris. It's not up to me to draw the line, because the lovely fine folks behind the game, Prince of Persia 2008, they drew the line, and it was way too far. But we can all enjoy that for just a moment, can't we? Like, yes, I admit, like, it is a little bit sort of objectification, but at the same time, she is brilliant. Like, she's brilliant on lots of different levels. She is the most powerful weapon that you find, but she is also integral to the story and interesting in the story and keeps you company.
But
so
I think the fact that she keeps you company, the fact that she helps you out, I think that stops her being a weapon. Yeah. I think her fighting and her hurting of your enemies is another part of her being a companion, not being a weapon. If she just popped up to punch some guys and then popped back down into your pocket, yes, she's a weapon, but she doesn't do that.
Yeah, you can't hug the atom bomb. Right. Scrub that out. Right, okay, Chris, let's have another one. How about the Ripper?
Dead Space. Dead Space 2. You were talking about getting up close and personal, Dan. This tops the Chainsaw Lancer, in my opinion. That getting the Ripper in Dead Space 2, when you're surrounded by these necromorphs that are just coming left, right, and centre, and you can't hit them with your plasma gun because they're just too close. When you've got the Ripper, it's just fantastic. You just lash out, because at that moment you've got so much pent-up aggression that the Ripper caters for that.
Well, I'll just explain to Dan what the Ripper is. I don't know if you've seen it, but basically, unlike the Chainsaw Lancer, it basically fires rotating chainsaw blades, which is really handy with the necromorphs when you need to disable limbs. So when they're coming towards you, you just fire a low skimming, and it's like a little daisy cutter, like a lawn mower without the mower bit.
Or lawn.
Or the lawn.
Or you can just punch with it, and it'll just stay almost on your hands, like you've got an armour made of like razor blades, basically, and you can just punch through them. It's an amazing thing.
In terms of weapons, it's the most practical and destructive and violent weapon. When you're taking down lots of little baby morphs, necromorphs with baby morphs, that's a different claymation version with the Ripper, it is quite satisfying. I'm happy to slam it right in there.
Well, you say it's one of the most violent weapons. There is another weapon on this list that I think is actually more violent than that, and that's the Cerebral Ball.
Yeah.
Which I think actually was one of your nominations, Sam, where you fire a metallic robotic object into an enemy. Mm-hmm. The object then burrows itself inside until it can find the enemy's brain, at which it settles itself inside of the brain and then explodes. That's pretty violent.
It is. I played Turok when I was about 10 or 11.
Yeah. Was that in the first Turok? Because I only ever played it in Rage Wars.
In the N64 version, yeah. On the
N64. Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. But, now, are we saying that it's a good weapon because it's the most powerful? Because if that's right, then I would say that it kind of unbalances the game. Certainly in Turok Rage Wars, you were basically unstoppable if you had that.
Yeah, but that's a good weapon. Being the most powerful, it ended the Second World War having the best weapon.
True.
Touche.
Escalation, yeah.
There we go.
No, I'm all for it. I think Cerebral Ball, for the fact, I think it is the most violent, and I think it is the best weapon because not just because it's violent, but there's the imagination of it for a gun is very impressive. The fact that you could shoot someone in the toe and it could make their head explode, it's amazing.
Brilliant. Well, we've only got 7 minutes left, so I'm slamming it in there. because we're running out of time, basically. I'm going to talk about one of my sort of favourites. I don't think it's going to make the list because we kind of had similar things in it, but I think it needs to be discussed. Insomniac are the kings of making ingenious weapons, and their Rift Inducer in Ratchet and Clank is a sight to behold. Basically, what this does is opens up a rift in time and space, in which, is it Fred or Frank, descends from it a creature from said space and sucks up any enemies and kills them. Basically, an alien creature that you can summon at will. I think it's humorous, it's funny, but also devastating.
I really like the Rift Inducer. I don't know if it would be the other ones in our list, although I like it a lot.
No, because that brings me to the gravity gun from Half-Life, which kind of does a similar thing. It was kind of almost like a precursor to the suck cannon from Ratchet and Clank, and there's a similar weapon in Dead Space 2 where you can kind of create like a force field and push away. The gravity gun does that brilliantly. So I think the gravity gun should actually go above the Rift Inducer just because of it being a precursor to that, and it's so much fun just being able to pull things and then just fire them away.
The gravity
Infinite
gun,
ammo.
The gravity gun you can compare to the Ripper as well. The fact that with the gravity gun you can pull to you large circular razor blades and then fire them off into your enemies and then pick them back up again. So there is an element of that which links into the Ripper as well from Dead Space.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But the gravity gun is just one of those kind of weapons where it's kind of it's infinite ammo. You can really help you out, and you can use anything as a weapon. I remember once in Ravensholm when I was trying to take down lots of the creatures, just using a little crate, just a crate, just picking it up, firing it into them, and just doing that multiple times because I'd run out of ammo. I think that the gravity gun's in, but I think we'll have to drop something else from Valve, whether the crowbar and the portal gun, if we're going to slam in the gravity gun.
I think if you're putting the gravity gun, you have to drop the crowbar because the crowbar comes into its own when you've run out of ammo, but so does the gravity gun. So you only need one of them.
And the portal gun, Peter?
I think the portal gun is the most important gun in video games for the last decade or so, because it created a brand new way of thinking, a brand new genre. The first person puzzler. We've started to think about puzzlers in different ways, and therefore it is a top weapon because it's changed the games industry. Like the things that it lets you do that are beyond killing. You can use it to kill and destroy other things. Like that's possible, and you have to think outside of the box of how to use it to actually do that. Mm-hmm. But it also transports you from one area to another in a mind-bending way that sort of goes against physics, and that's really important. And as I say, it has changed our approach to the way that we look at first-person shooters. They don't have to be shooters; they can just be first-person games. Without that, we wouldn't have any Unfinished Swan. Without that, we wouldn't have. Do you know what? I've completely lost my train of thought as to more first-person puzzlers. But, it meant that you could do more with the first-person shooter, basically.
I think the fact that the actual game is built around this gun, I think, just means that it has to go in there, essentially, because of how important it is.
But doesn't it lack the sort of facets of a gun, how we've become to know them, something that's limited in ammo, something that is made to maim and kill? Doesn't it lack those kind of attributes?
No, because a gun can also be a starter's pistol, so it could be anything. A gun doesn't have to be necessarily violent.
Yeah, but a starter's pistol could kill you.
If you bash someone around the head with it.
No. It still fires something.
I suppose we are saying it's a weapon, and I suppose weapon says that you've got to. Weapon is used to hurt, isn't it? Really.
Well, at the end of the day, it still brings down GLaDOS. It's still used in aggression and in peacetime. So I guess it's something that was made for a purpose but has since been weaponized, like E = mc². So kind of the portal gun is the E = mc² of the video gaming weapons world. Is that what you're saying, Peter Willington?
I'm basically saying that we've talked about nuclear holocaust quite a lot on this podcast, and that's exciting. The fact that we're sort of relating these weapons to them. Yes, basically, it is science to kill things.
Fantastic. Well, if anyone's got anything else to add, then I will close the list there. And there we have it, our top 5 video gaming weapons. In no particular order, we have the Cerebral Ball from Turok. We have the Banana Bomb from the Worm series, the Gravity Gun from Half-Life, the Portal Gun from Portal, and finishing up 5th on our list, but last but no means least, the crossbow with live ammunition from the Oddworld Stranger's Wrath. A very, very good selections of weapons there, I think. And if you think that we've made the right choices, or maybe you're one of these people who's going to disagree with us on what we've decided, then do let us know. You can do that in a couple of ways. Easy ways, just via Twitter at InRetroSpect, or through the website, which is InRetroSpectPodcast.com. Don't forget as well that you can subscribe to the numerous podcasts that come out through the label. Do that through iTunes. You can follow us all on Twitter, details on the website, so you'll never miss a show. And remember, if you want to catch up on anything that you might have missed, then you can visit iTunes, or you can also visit InRetroSpectPodcast.com. And that has been Raw, and those have been our top 5 gaming weapons. And I've still got 30 seconds.
Sing us a song. Yes.
There are top 5 gaming weapons, and no matter what happens, they'll remain in our top 5 until we get bored and need to stay alive by making another list.
We just have silence. I think that.
Then they've got a banana bomb.
Just silence.